today. Wonderful day. And last fall, I had the privilege and opportunity to interview Dan Baer for the opening for CSL director. I can tell you, as soon as the interview was over, he left the room. The group of us who was there said, "This is the person we want to lead CSL for summer 2022 and into the future." And so now I'm going to ask Dan Baer to come on up and say a few words.
Be easier. Thank you, Harold. So for everyone who doesn't know, I'm Dan. I'm the new camp director at Camp Seneca Lake. Is Mike working? Is that better? That's better. CSL is at a pivotal and exciting time. We just completed our 95th summer of Jewish Overnight Cinema Camp. And having spent just my first summer here, it's been a pleasure to be a part of the community with so much history and so many memories. And when I'm walking camp with alumni and many of you, one of my favorite things is watching people just lose their eyes up as they walk into the dining hall, into the OREC, into the cabins to find the names and memories from years past. While the space is the same, camp is always about the people. CSL has shaped generations of youth, helping them learn Jewish values, develop Jewish identities, forge lifelong friendships. And for many, CSL is the place to feel safe and embrace their whole selves for mental, spiritual, social, emotional health. This generation of children has long struggled with the mental health challenges that present us today due to the isolating effects of the internet and challenges in schools. Technology has set the stage, and then COVID came and exacerbated it. Camp staff and campers of all ages have reported higher levels of fragility, volatility, homesickness. The American Academy of Pediatrics recently declared a national state of emergency in childhood and adolescent mental health, citing a staggering increase in this year in the number of self-injury and major mental health crises in 5 to 17-year-olds, compared to the same period in just 2019, 3 years ago. Camp Seneca Lake has taken amazing strides to meet the needs of our population. We applied for and received the Yedid Nefesh Beloved Soul Grant through the Foundation for Jewish Camp, intended to promote wellness at camps. We hired a dedicated staff experience manager and a professional mental health team to support our community over the summer. And we're getting ready to open one of the first standalone mental health spaces at any Jewish overnight camp in North America. This space will allow for an expansion of our wellness programming, including providing a space for group therapy, yoga, meditation, and so many more things that we can't even name yet until we see how it can be used. It will have a sensory space for campers to be able to decompress and reset themselves, even on their own. 2 counseling rooms for campers to continue to receive the care that they're receiving at home via telehealth and work with our professionals privately. Every camp has an infirmary to take care of the physical needs of our community, and now we're going to be able to take care of the rest of ourselves because of M's Place, meeting the full needs of every individual here at Camp Seneca Lake. We're excited for the future and excited that Camp Seneca Lake still allows kids and continues to allow kids to be kids in the most positive way possible. Thank you all.
So flashback, I started camp in 1964. I was 9 years old. 1971, I was a CIT, and Jimmy Shrybman was the director of Cayuga. He made a great impression on me then, throughout the years, with all the campers and staff that he touched. And now I'm going to ask Shelley Tessa to come on up and say a few words about Jimmy.
How many of you knew Jimmy Schreibman? How many of you have heard of Jimmy Schreibman. Jimmy is definitely a case of, if you know, you know. Jimmy never wanted to do anything that was just normal. He had to put his spin on it. For campers and staff, he will always be remembered for that element of surprise and creativity that he embodied. Why did he always wear white? Where did he come up with those cheers? Cayuga was a little boys' unit. What was he doing leading them like warriors into the mess hall? Have some respect for Mohawk. Do you remember Warren Frankel's great political convention mass program? Or the Star Wars mass program? Is there really a fire on a rowboat in the middle of the lake for July 4th? Did he just arrive in the mess hall on a white horse? Are we really schlepping the entire camp to Hector land use area for a 3-day kibbutz experience? So you might think that this Jimmy Schreibman persona was reserved for Camp Seneca Lake. Not a chance. That was just authentically who he was. His children and grandchildren can list his shenanigans from morn till night. The Tooth Fairy, of course, he took on that role. But our 3 kids had their own personal Tooth Fairy named after the Hebrew month in which they were born. As was often the case, Jimmy, Tishrei, was late collecting said tooth. Don't ask what kept Tishrei from getting there on time. Just put $1 under the pillow and keep it moving. No, $1 was simply too ordinary. He would write extensive letters to accompany said dollar, making up tales of the adventures and struggles poor Tishrei endured on her way to get the goods under the pillow. Birthdays were marked by surprised stuffed animal dioramas. He would collect every stuffed animal he could find from their rooms and delight in their reactions when they woke up or came home from school. You think his and his brother's famous dramatic reading of Dr. Seuss's Bartholomew and the Oobleck was reserved just for camp? Oh no. Bartholomew may be gone, but we have here today King Derwin. There you go. His trusty sidekick, Jimmy's brother, David Halpern. Believe it or not, reading this story by the fireplace was a family Passover tradition that my kids and their cousins clamored for. Lights off, flashlights only. Recently, our eldest grandson, Elliot, was recalling a family event and looked over at me and said, "Remember, Bubby? Saba was telling one of his stories." And I like to think that his eye roll had a little bit to do with me, but that's how he is remembered. After we were married and expecting a baby, we were both giddy with excitement. Before the days of gender reveals, we had our boy name and our girl name. In the delivery room, Jimmy was busy scribbling on his notepad, chopping on a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, and cheering me on. Finally, this beautiful baby girl was in my arms. We named her after my favorite person on the planet, my bubby, Anna. Jimmy jumped up and shouted, "Anna! Only 8 more years and you can go to camp!" and go to camp she and all of her siblings did. While they were at camp, Jimmy made sure we embarked on our own wild mass program every summer. As trunks were being packed, names written in collars, and trips to CVS were made, the master of surprise was leaving me letters and notes and teasing me about the grand, childless adventure that lay ahead. He'd only tell me what to wear, what to pack, and how long we would be gone. The theme was always the same: romance. Bicycles built for two in Central Park, shopping sprees at my favorite store, and of course, the beloved courthouse in every city we ever visited. Won't it be fun to watch a trial? Some would say that Jimmy died the way he lived, in a dramatic, never-to-be-forgotten way. It was the height of the pandemic, and he was sick and railing about the state of our medical care system while being schlepped from hospital to find an open bed. I remember him waving to me from afar with a long beard, because shaving was not something anyone had time for in COVID. We started calling him the Rebbe. That was the only time I heard him laugh during those horrific days. So, in 1958, an 8-year-old little boy with gangly arms and legs got off the bus at CSL, eyes wide open and teeth loosened from the roaring of "We're here because we're here." Although on the surface he looked like many other first-time campers, Jimmy Schreibman was different. He had already lost his mother, been separated from his father and older brother and sister, and spent time in foster care. He had only recently landed in the home of his cousins, the Halperns, where he was suddenly the eldest of 4, finding his place within this new and forever family, and joining them for Jewish summer camp at this soon-to-be beloved place. So it makes sense that while most of us describe the overnight camp experience as transformative, an opportunity to reinvent ourselves, for Jimmy it was different. He invented himself at camp. Camp was his home, where he could find himself and just be Jimmy. And while he was busy becoming his best version of himself, he was not shy about helping other people reinvent themselves, even me. If you look around the mess hall, you'll see the name Shelley Testa on all the plaques. That's me. When Jimmy became camp director, he hired me to be unit head of Onondaga, and soon discovered that my legal name was Rochelle. Now, we knew each other our whole lives. As soon as I moved to Maryland to start my life with Jimmy, I became Rochelle. New life, new name. If you know me from home or camp, I am Shelley. If you know me from Maryland, I am Rochelle. If we are besties, I am Roche. And if you love me, I am Rochellenka. Recently, I've been doing some reading about the period between Tisha B'Av and Sukkot. The title of the book is "This is Real and You Are Completely Unprepared." The chapter, "Everywhere He Went, He Was Heading for Home," has Jimmy's name on it. The author, Rabbi Lou, poses the question, why do we have to leave our home to find a home and then leave again? He points out that Jews were destined to live without a home for 2,000 years, yet managed to hold on to their identity and tradition. For me, all roads lead to Jimmy. For Jimmy, all roads led back to camp. We are here today to dedicate a space on this property to the man who loved it more than anyone I know, Jimmy Shrybman. This space is set alongside M's place to pay it forward for any child who needs a moment to discover, reflect on, reinvent, or invent themselves. In preparing for today, I reviewed the eulogy I wrote for Jimmy in 2020, and of course I referenced his essay, All I Really Need to Know, I Learned at Camp Seneca Lake, from which we sourced the quotes on these plaques, on the benches. I'll spare you the entirety of what's basically a 4-page, single-space, 6-point font love letter to this place. But I will close with his words. I went to camp because I learned so much about life and myself. I learned so much, and I didn't even realize I was learning because I was having so much fun. I learned that I could be creative and develop ideas I never had stretched my mind to imagine or would not have attempted to implement in life outside of camp. I learned that I could make a memorable experience for others, even though I always carried the fear of failing. I learned that it is great to have dreams as a young child, and with persistence, that child can make it all come true.
Rabbi Rochelle Tulik from TBK JCC board member is going to come on up now.
Hi. Almighty God, guardian of the doorposts of Israel, we come here now with sacred purpose to transform glass and wood into a shelter for the heart and the spirit, to infuse walls and ceiling with a measure of holiness that bridges human and divine, to invite into the work of human hands God's abiding presence. All of us seek freedom and peace, contentment and fulfillment. All of us desire the personal liberation of a mind that is not enslaved by the professed wisdom of others, the emotional maturity that enables us to love without fear, and a spirit that affirms our individual strength within the support of a caring group. As the Mishkan, the portable sanctuary of the ancient Israelites, helped them find their way through the wilderness, so may all who enter this space find a path to enter their own personal promised lands. For those who are searching to find the path, for those who are in need to receive sustenance, may the doors of this building be wide enough to receive all who hunger for love, all who are lonely for friendship. May it welcome all who have cares to unburden, thanks to express, hopes to nurture. May the doors of this building be narrow enough to shut out pettiness and pride, envy and enmity. May its threshold not be a stumbling block to young or straying feet. May it be too high to admit complacency, selfishness, or harshness. May this place be, for all who enter, the doorway to a richer and more meaningful life. So let's join together as we recite Shehachianu, thanking God for bringing us to this moment, this day, and this place. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, Shehachianu v'kiyamanu v'hegianu b'zman hazeh. Amen.
Terry and Melanie, aren't you guys coming up? You are. My thoughts of Emily's favorite times were when she was at camp. Here at CSL, she could escape everyday reality and be herself. Today's youth have many challenges, and camp is here to be their safe space. Emily and I shared a love of music. Music, for both of us, and many of you, is inspirational and grounding. It's my hope that all who enter M's Place, whether in a few minutes or in the future, can feel Emily's spirit. And no matter your mindset, when entering, you will feel the meaning of the Beach Boys' Good Vibrations as it melds with Bob Marley, Positive Vibration, and is joined by Jerry Garcia, singing Ripple, of course, to brighten your day.
Hi. Hi, I'm Terry Bobry. This is my daughter Melanie. She's here to support me. Welcome to M's Place. Emily was happiest when she was here at Camp Seneca Lake. We proudly honor her legacy of helping others by the creation of this transformational, brand new building and programming that is in partnership with Keuka College. Here at M's Place, it's a wellness wonderland, open for everyone to benefit from. A peaceful studio where mindfulness, which means living in the present moment, fully engaged and aware of one's surroundings with acceptance and without judgment, can be taught and can be taught and practiced every day. Together, we are creating a positive place where everyone can learn life skills. Learning coping strategies and grounding techniques are vital skills that can help to teach resiliency, the ability to bounce back after disappointments. Our goal is to help our youth be better equipped to make healthy choices on a regular basis, to achieve their full potential in happy and healthy ways. Before entering M's Place, shoes will be stored in cubbies so that they shed a part of themselves before entering. The porch will have a pair of rocking chairs on each side and a cart that will have a variety of books, toys, and games available at all times in case the studio has a class in session. The main studio will be painted a calming color called Blue Seafoam. This multi-purpose air-conditioned space will have all the bells and whistles for yoga. Lush and cozy pillows will line the room's perimeter for reading and relaxing. Furry friends are ready to be snuggled, as well as cool pictometry books and others on the shelves ready to be enjoyed. Wall-mounted magnetic boards will create an expressive option by selecting magnetic words and placing them on the boards, sharing, adding, changing the story as campers evolve. The unique and creative toys, games, and books that have been ordered for M's Place are amazing and awesome, and the collection is so extensive, it's too long to list. A thank you filled with gratitude for the Dream Team. It has been a rewarding and positive experience analyzing and debating every decision as a process in creating M's Place. Thank you to Bob Marcus, Craig Prince and your whole entire team, Serge Svossman, Dan Baer, and Josh Van Horn. It takes a village. The biggest and most special thank you is to all of the donors. My heart is full, thanks to everyone who has donated to M's Place and helped to make this reality that you see today. This transformational space will be helping hundreds and hundreds of children for decades to come because of you. M's Place will truly make a difference. Please join us now for a tour of M's Place, and before you leave, please see me. I have a mindfulness memento for everyone. Thank you for coming. Please join us for a tour.